Today, we need to discuss the man of the hour. Many people will recognize the American filmmaker for his role in Sons of Anarchy, Taylor Sheridan. He has since become a household name in television after creating Yellowstone and its many spin-offs. Now it's time we speak of the Taylorverse. Keep on watching to learn more about Sheridan's best works. First up, Sheridan has been hard at work making a name for himself. So, before Taylor became a notable American filmmaker, he debuted in the mid-1990s with roles in Walker, Texas Ranger, The Guardian, Star Trek Enterprise, and CSI Crime Scene Investigation. His breakthrough roles, however, include Danny Boyd on Veronica Mars and police officer David Hale in Sons of Anarchy. While continuing to act, Sheridan began to dabble in filmmaking, directing the 2011 horror Vile before writing the action thriller Sicario, and then Hell or High Water, which received 4 Academy Award nominations. He went on to write Wind River, Sicario, Day of the Soldado, Without Remorse, and Those Who Wish Me Dead in 2017 before transitioning to television with the Montana-set drama Yellowstone in 2018. And it was this show that caught everyone's attention. Next, Yellowstone was bound to become a hit. Yellowstone, the show that started it all, stars Academy Award winner and Dances with Wolves star Kevin Costner as Josh Dutton, and sixth-generation homesteader and devoted father who owns the United States' largest contiguous ranch. Working in a corrupt world where politicians are bribed by powerful oil companies and land grabs can net developers billions, John Dutton and his family are constantly on the defensive against those attempting to take over the Yellowstone ranch. Yellowstone has been described as Succession meets Dallas, with a larger cast featuring more notable actors, and all seasons are currently available to stream exclusively on Paramount+. The drama has been generously flavored with family problems, romance, and multiple assassination attempts. This cowboy-themed story has more plot twists and secrets in their closet than you can count on one hand. And the world of Yellowstone is expanding. If you can't get enough of Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan's 1883, a prequel following John Dutton's ancestors on a journey west through the Great Plains to the last bastion of untamed America, will transport you back to the 19th century. In this stark retelling of Western expansion, we follow James Dutton, John Dutton's great-grandfather, as he tries to make a better life for his family in America's promised land, Montana, played by The Blind Side's Tim McGraw. With Grammy Award winner and country music royalty Faith Hill starring as James's wife Margaret Dutton, young Sheldon's Isabel May playing their daughter Esla, and A Star Is Born's Sam Elliott playing expedition leader Shay Brennan. 1883 reveals the origins of the Dutton family we know and love. Set in the raw, real American West, the series also features guest appearances by Billy Bob Thornton, Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson, and Taylor Sheridan himself in his story about how the Dutton Ranch came to be. Don't go anywhere because we've just gotten to understanding the Taylorverse. Wait, there's more. Bass Reeves will follow the legendary lawman as he rules the Wild West and works as a federal police officer in Indian Territory, apprehending over 3,000 of the most dangerous criminals without ever being wounded. Another Yellowstone spin-off set in modern-day Texas is in the works as well. The show, 6666, will follow those working on the ranches, which were founded when Comanches still ruled West Texas, and will focus on how it operates today. In 1923, the new Taylor Sheridan installment will introduce a new generation of the Dutton family before the events of Yellowstone and will take place in the early 20th century when pandemics, historic drought, the end of the Prohibition, and the Great Depression will plague the Mountain West and the Duttons who live there. Robert Patrick has joined the cast of the Paramount Plus series 1923, which stars Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. He plays Sheriff William McDowell, a Dutton family friend. 1923 is currently filming in Montana and will premiere on Paramount Plus in December 2022. Taylor admits that the number of series he's developing for various Paramount platforms is excessive. He's quick to state that he has the golden chance to tell stories the way he wants to, and that's the kind of freedom very few filmmakers achieve. He's not so sure about still working on his projects when he's 70 years of age, so he's doing his utmost now. And there are tons of shows that have nothing to do with Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan has kept himself busy outside of Yellowstone by creating some of the most gripping television shows on Paramount+. Mayor of Kingstown, starring Jeremy Renner from The Hurt Locker, follows the McCluskey family of Michigan, the power brokers of a town where the business of incarceration is the only booming business. The premiere of Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount Plus is a significant step forward for the Taylor Sheridan brand. Not only is this Sheridan's first streaming series for Paramount, but it's also the first project outside of his modern Western ethos. The crime thriller stars a legendary cast, including Zero Dark Thirty's Kyle Chandler and I Care a Lot's Diana Wyast. It tackles socio-political themes such as systematic racism, inequality, and corruption as the McCluskey's attempt to bring order and justice to a town that lacks both. Tulsa King, a crime drama starring Sylvester Stallone as Dwight the General Manfredi, a New York mafia cop sent to Tulsa after serving 25 years in prison, will premiere this autumn. Manfredi is forced to navigate the power dynamics of a Midwestern city he's completely unfamiliar with after being imprisoned for over 2 decades. But the tale of how this story was conceived is just as interesting. The backstory of Tulsa King demonstrates Sheridan's appeal to the creative community. Sheridan estimates that it took about a week to come up with the idea for the show, write the pilot script, and get Stallone on board. He revealed that he was in talks with a producer who was stressing about coming up with new content during the peak of COVID. He advised him that they only need to devise a character and chuck him into a world he knows nothing of. Because of the pandemic, Sheridan had plenty of time to write the script, and Sheridan then called Stallone directly to discuss the show. During the early days of the lockdown, the actor was at home in Florida and was also going stir-crazy. Stallone called Sheridan again a day after receiving the script and said, "I love it. When do we shoot it?" The show was sold to Paramount a few days later, and our task as loyal fans is to wait for the final product. But there's another show with a sturdy male character lined up. Landman will feature Billy Bob Thornton as an oil company crisis manager in West Texas. And lastly, Lioness, an espionage thriller starring Zoe Saldana, is also in the works. It's executive producer by Nicole Kidman and is about women who are trained to infiltrate terrorists and criminal networks. Thankfully, his friend and colleague have Taylor's back. David Glasser, the owner of 101 Studios, which produces Sheridan's works, has a clear vision in mind when discussing the expansion of what's been dubbed the Taylorverse and how the mayor of Kingstown differs from Yellowstone. He's in the tricky position of wanting to expand his brand without sacrificing quality. Many creators have multiple shows on the air, and when the creator moves on, some of the shows suffer. But David assures fans that having seen Sheridan work up close, he's an icon. He states that all he does is try his best to execute Taylor's vision. For David, the foundation has already been set. Taylor goes so far as to even make personalized casting choices to make sure they fit the character he has in mind. All David has to do is help him deliver us his ideas and craft of storytelling. Glasser is confident that the Taylorverse with Viacom will be an exciting few years at Paramount+. He believes it will be a unique opportunity for incredible amounts of content coming out of Taylor's world. They're going to give a little bit of everything, a wide range of products, and it'll be a lot of fun because he thinks he's just getting started. Did you know Clint Eastwood inspired Taylor's works? In an interview with Variety, Sheridan discussed Yellowstone and his influences, naming several well-known authors and directors. One thing all of Sheridan's influences had in common was that they all left their distinct mark on the Western genre. He was greatly influenced by writers such as Cormac McCarthy, Larry McMurtry, and Toni Morrison, who wrote about the Civil War period. They also frequently portray a Western theme too. In terms of movies that influenced him, he was seen Unforgiven when he was in his late teens or early 20s. The same can be said for Dances with Wolves, which examines the Western genre through a previously unseen lens. It's easy to understand Sheridan's admiration for these movies because they all execute drama and dialogue with precision and feeling, which we're sure he hopes to mirror. Phew, that's all folks. Taylor's got far too much on his plate for the next few years. If you're a Yellowstone fan, comment below and tell us what project you have your sights set on. Subscribe to our channels for more in-depth content on Hollywood stars.